Welcome to day 27 of the 30-day video challenge, the story of me and what I do. Today, I want to take you on the adventure of one of the revolutionary steps that developed in martial arts probably some 20 years ago, and I've been utilizing it and helping kids with it with great success. And that concept or training method is called verbal judo. Verbal judo was created probably some 25, 30 years ago and has been utilized by law enforcement agencies all over the United States, and is even starting to spread into different parts of the world. And basically, so it was been field tested before we got it into martial arts. So field tested in the worst case scenarios, law enforcement to be able to disarm a hostile situation or de-escalate hostile situations so that they did not become dangerous or deadly for the police officers. So seeing the effects of it work over and over again in the worst case scenarios made it a perfect fit to start introducing to kids and that concept. And it was also a great fit because it was a big section that was missing in the martial arts for the longest time. And so, for example, I don't have time to teach you the whole concept. It's a several-hour seminar. But the gist of it, for example, the revolutionary part was we were always teaching kids, the physical blocks of martial arts. If somebody tries to punch you, block to protect your face or parry to get them out of the, get their fist out of the way. But we never talked about the emotional or the verbal side. What do you do when somebody is assaulting you? If they're just being nasty. And so for the longest time, we always said, well, martial arts develops confidence. And if you just learn how to do this, you're going to be safe and bullies won't protect you. Well, that was hogwash. That didn't help at all. When this came along, it really stepped up our game, and it also opened my eyes to the holes and the gaps in martial arts, which then eventually led us to the leadership training that you see today. That was another huge step in the evolution of what we do here, and why it's not martial arts, it's prestige. But what we talk about with verbal judo, the general concept is verbal blocks. And the whole concept is teaching somebody how to deal with somebody who's being nasty without, escalating the situation. And so an example might be, hey, you're fat. I am not. And right away, phew, now escalates up. So one of the concepts or ideas to visualize this was actually taught at a very young age by the wonderful Bugs Bunny. If you ever watch Bugs Bunny and he's being chased by Elmer Fudd, this whole concept has been around for ages. Bugs Bunny's running away from Elmer Fudd because Elmer's got a rifle. But then Bugs Bunny comes back, with a machine gun. And then Elmer comes back, with a double barrel, huge gun. And then Bugs Bunny comes back with a tank. And they just keep going back and forth. Well, the message they were teaching us back then was violence gets violence. You have to keep escalating the violence in order to subdue your opponent. The whole concept of verbal judo, or verbal karate as we call it sometimes, is to de-escalate the situation. So somebody comes up and they're like, hey, you're fat. You're like, great, you're absolutely correct. Thank you for letting me know. You know what? I'm entering the world's fattest contest next week and I hope to win. And you walk away. And so where a nuance of this has now come in, because this was 20 some years ago, is tonality. And so tonality is another key element where people get themselves in trouble, because sarcasm. Sarcasm is the lowest form of communication, in my opinion, of how people will deal with each other. And so having a sarcastic or flippant answer not only is rude, but it's just plain disrespectful. But if you allow it, it's going to continue and grow and become worse. So again, with the little kids, we talk about kill the monsters when they're small. If your child is being sarcastic, disrespectful, or rude, if you step on it right there the first time, they're not going to have an opportunity to practice it over and over again and internalize it. So that's the example that we work on with the verbal judo. Hey, you're ugly. Hey, you're absolutely right. Thank you for letting me know. I'm entering the world's ugly contest next week and I hope to win. And you just walk away. The key element again is it's got to be said naturally and without sarcasm. And this is just the very tip of the iceberg. But by simply teaching children this one concept, we've already armed them to disable 70 to 80% of the bullies that they're going to face on a daily basis at school or the park or wherever they might go. Until that point, kids didn't know what to do. They felt like they had to defend themselves. And so suddenly you'd get hey, you're ugly. I am not. And then, right, there goes the violence. It escalates. You'd slap somebody or you push somebody, and here we go down that negative spiral as opposed to de-escalating the situation. So there's one of the basic concepts that we like to teach. There are about 5 levels to this. If it's something that you'd be interested in learning and hearing more about, leave a message in the comments. Let me know. And I do actually have the whole seminar available online, so you don't have to be a member here. We can certainly offer that to you if that's something you're interested in. But the level 1 is basically learning how to verbally block insults and teaching kids that you don't have to accept them, right? Just because somebody says it doesn't mean it's true. And so by blocking it, right, if you were to punch, I would block it and get out of the way. Well, if you hurl an insult at me, I'm going to block it and get out of the way. Whole concept of verbal judo. There you have day 27, 28, 29, and 30. We got 3 days left, guys. And I said I've already won the contest, so that is fantastic. I will figure out something to talk to you guys about tomorrow. Have a great day.